Kitkatscanread.
Hello everybody, my name is Katie. Welcome to another video. Today's video I'm going to be bringing you my August wrap up, all of the books that I read in August. I had a really good reading month. I read some books on my TBR, I read some books that weren't on my TBR, but reading got done, which, you know, I'm pretty proud of. So in the month of August we had the Witchathon and Readathon that I'm a co-host of, as well as the Bench One Readathon that I've created, where you read kind of like bench books, backlist books. And yeah, I'm happy to say that I managed to get a few of those read. So without further ado, these are the books that I read in August. So the first book that I read in August was With Fire in Their Blood by Kat Delacour. This book, I'm happy to say, is now released. It came out the 1st of September, so you can get your hands on this now. I did do a review on this, so I'll link that down below, where I talk about more about my thoughts and everything. So I'll just like be very brief in this wrap up. But yeah, so this is the story of Lily, and she moves to Castello in Italy, and she learns that there are these two clans, and it's very much sort of like Romeo and Juliet. They were at war, and then there's this general that like you know, created this peace and was like, you know, there's somebody who's actually far worse who should be your enemy, called the Saints. So there are these tests all the time where they test with your blood to find out if you're a saint. The saints are kind of like depicted as like witches and like really bad and awful and all this. So it's literally about Lily discovering about all of this and discovering about herself and like other people, and there is like bisexual rep in this, as well as a, I want to say like a love square, because there's a few love interests in this one, male and female, which is like quite exciting, and I just love them all. I just don't know who I prefer. I really honestly don't know who I prefer, but it's really good. Yeah, it's got like magic in it, Italy. Yeah, it's really great. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to continue with the series. I'm so excited. I know that Kat's writing the second book now as we speak, and yeah, I love it so much. I can't recommend it enough. I'm so super happy that I managed to give it a read, and yeah, I love it so much. So I hope more of you people are going to pick it up and enjoy it. I'm hearing really good reviews coming out so far from other people, but yeah, I hope you guys won't be disappointed. But all I know is I absolutely love this book, and I gave it 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. The next book that I read in the month of August was Unravel Me by Tara Murphy. I read this with the Late Night Bookworming book club. This is a reread for me as well. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, reading it all over again and rediscovering why I am on Team Warner. Like, there's Adam and then there's Warner, and I literally am on Team Warner. So because this is a sequel, I won't touch on it too much because I don't want to spoil anybody. But yeah, basically like the main gist of it is we have a girl called Juliet, and she has a special ability where if she touches people she can kill them, and so she's pretty much kind of like isolated because of that, wanted because she could be used as a weapon. But yeah, she's like in this kind of like institute, and yeah, we basically have this guy called Warner who is like watches over her, and then there's Adam who's like one of the soldiers, and it's about like it's really hard not to describe because it continues on, but yeah, that's all I can probably say on it, because I literally honestly think that anything that I say would just spoil. But just know that that is like the base storyline, and yeah, it's just about discovering about like other people in this one, and more things happen, twists and turns definitely. I loved it so much. I preferred this one to the first book by far, and yeah, I honestly can't wait for the third book and to continue on with this series and see what I think about it. I'm really super excited to get around to it. But yeah, loved it so much, and I gave it 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. Then I also went on to Unite Me, which is Destroy Me and Fracture Me, the novellas in a binder. So Destroy Me is about Warner, and it's between Shatter Me and Unravel Me, but from Warner's perspective. And then Fracture Me is by Adam, from his perspective, and that's after the second book. So it leads into Ignite Me. But I don't often really enjoy novellas, but I think these two were really, really important. You learn so much about Warner in Destroy Me, and you do learn about Adam in Fracture Me, and it was a great filler between the books, and it has a really shocker ending. And I just really, really love this bind up and rereading all over again. And in this, there's also a little section at the back that's Juliet's journal, so you can actually read like the thoughts that Juliet has, like while she's in the institute. But yeah, it's a great novella bind up, and like I say, I don't often like novellas, but I think these were really, really important for you to learn about. So yeah, loved it, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. Next of all, I finally got around to reading Manubooryzen by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this is a book that I started last year and I got halfway through, and then I restarted it all over again because I wanted to actually read it and finish it. And yeah, I'm glad that I did, because it was a really enjoyable book. Taylor Jenkins Reid is amazing at getting people to fall in love with the characters. They're very character driven, and it's just really, really good. I'm thinking of doing a review. Wait, no, because like I really, really kind of like need to get back to reviewing my books again, so I'm thinking of doing a proper review for this. So yeah, I'm really excited, and then hopefully when I do get around to reviewing, I will find time to link it down below. But yeah, so this is pretty much it's based in the past in 1983 in Malibu, and it's fitting because it was also in August, so it's perfect to read it during the month as well. But basically there is a character called Nina River, and she is hosting this like party. It's like a end of summer party. She does it like every year, and like everybody and everyone is going to be there. Nina is the daughter of like a famous like rock star, and yeah, so we go between like, it flashes between the past and the present. We have like the storyline of her parents, and then we go back to the present of like what's going on at the party. And yeah, you just learn so much about each and every one character. Karistos is a character in this as well, which is like the sequel spin-off to this. Karistos is Back, which has just been released. So yeah, I really like character driven books. I like learning about people, and it honestly makes you feel like you know these people as if they are actual rock stars or actual people. And I think that's really, really great. I actually really enjoyed this book. I mean, it doesn't really come close to Daisy Jones and the Six, which is like one of my all-time favourite books, but this was still a really good book for me. So after Cool Pile, it ended up coming out as a 4.5 rating, which I think it felt right for me, which is a really good rating. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to reading Karistos Back, because I think she's an interesting character in this book. But I do recommend that you do read this before reading Karistos Back, because she is in this book and you get to kind of like see her character in this book as well. Like, even though it's like a cameo role, you do get to see her. So yeah, really excited to read the sequel though. I had the special edition from Waterstones, but it's not been published yet, so I don't know how long it's going to take. I did message Waterstones just to say like, is there a new publication date for it, or how long are we expected to wait for it, because I'm meant to be collecting it from the bookstore. But yeah, it's already been like a few days and it still says it's awaiting publication, so I don't know if it's having issues there like with the publication, or whether it's like the delivery of it, but it does say on their website that they're also having a new sort of like warehouse changeover, so maybe that's also why. But yeah, I just want some kind of like clarification as to like when we will be receiving it, because obviously if I am going to be moving at some point this year, then I also need to know that as well. So yeah, really do recommend it and can't wait for Karisoto. So then I read some graphic novels. I read the first 3 volumes in the You're My Cutie series by Nakaba Harufuji, and yeah, volumes 1, 2 and 3. I had volume number 1 and I got it for cheap, and then I read like the others as well, and yeah, I really enjoy these books and I can't wait for more. I believe it's still like in production, like it's still being written. So yeah, this is the story of Madoka. She really likes reading kind of like romance novels, and this guy ends up like starting to work at her family's restaurant alongside her, but he is really rude, he's really standoffish, and yeah, they don't really get along to start with, but then they end up sort of slowly but surely sort of like developing this friendship, and then maybe into possible like feelings. So it is kind of like almost like a I suppose like a dislike to possibly love. It's really cute. It literally is really cute, and it just sort of makes you happy. And I really love Japanese manga when it does things like this, like you know, ones that are like based in school and that, but yeah, like it's yeah, it's great. And yeah, like I believe he's like quite like popular, like the females are all kind of like, you know, swooning over him, but at first like Madoka is just sort of like, she doesn't see or understand that because they just have this sort of like dislike. But yeah, I really like it, and yeah, I've got the manga like on the site, like where I can kind of see if it is being written, because there are some sites where they do upload the manga sort of like by chapters, and then they will actually like publish them. So there are a couple of chapters out now, so yeah, I've got it like notified so that I can read hopefully the next one when it's written. Yeah, really excited. But yeah, really enjoyed all 3 of these volumes, and I gave them all 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. I really recommend them. And then finally I read another graphic novel. This is called Waiting for Spring by Anushin. And yeah, so this is the story of Mizuki, and she befriends this basketball team. All she wants to do is make friends, but she befriends the basketball team, and they're all kind of like quirky and fun. They sort of start to appear at the like restaurant that she works at, and yeah, there's one there that she kind of like is like interested in, and she, I don't know, she's kind of like brushed to the side and not seen as like a popular sort of girl, and yeah, she's kind of like let down quite a lot. Like some of the guys are sort of like, oh, like, you know, like your friend's really beautiful, like can you set me up with her? And she sort of obviously feels like, oh, why can it never be me, sort of thing. But yeah, I've only read the first volume of this one. I know there are quite a lot of volumes out of this one, so it could be one that I could get hold of and possibly read at some point. But yeah, it was an interesting first graphic novel. I wasn't sure what I was going to think about it at first, but I did end up enjoying it, and it did come out as a 5 out of 5 Kit Kat rating. It just about scraped a 5-star. I think it would have almost have been a 4.5, but yeah, I still really enjoyed it, so it felt right as a low 5-star rating. But yes, I did really enjoy it all the same, and yes, it is one that I would continue, but not sure when. So that concludes the end of my August wrap up. So yes, I had a mix. I read some physical books, some rereads, but I did really well because I had a couple of review books, manubooryzen being one of them, because I had that on NetGalley, and with Fire in Their Blood also a netgear as well as physical copy, and then I read some graphic novels which I haven't read in like ages, and they did help get me out of this kind of like slump feeling that I had. And yeah, a couple of rereads as well. I'm also continuing the series, so I feel like I did really well in August, and it does spur me on to do really well in September. I love being in love with reading, and I love having that feeling of like I'm really excited to read a book. I literally was sat here and I was just like, yes, I've got this TBR, but if there's a book where I'm starting like I really want to read it, then I'm just gonna do it, because like I am a move reader, and if it's going to spur my love of reading, then why not give it a chance? So yeah, I'm super excited to see what's going to happen in September. Fingers crossed, because my TBR, as you guys would have seen if you watched the video, didn't do me any justice, and I've got 2 extra books on the TBR, and I am doing this thing now where I am forwarding books that I don't get around to finishing and completing, so I do end up reading those in like the next month. I'm just forwarding them on until I do get them finished, and I find that it helps definitely. So I've got 2 that I'm forwarding on to September. One is The Vampire Diaries The Awakening, which is the first book. I am 56% through that one, so that should definitely be completed in September. The other book is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I am like 89 pages through that roughly, so yeah, that might be something I pick up in September. I'm hoping I do, but there are some books that are in September that I'm quite excited to read, and there are others that are kind of like mandatory as well, like the Late Night Bookworm Book Club book pick for August, where the live show is in September, so that does kind of need to be read too. So yeah, I'm really excited all the same, but I'm happy to have a nice genuine wrap up where I feel like I've done really well. Like for me, I'm a slow reader, like big time, and fatigued like all the time. So to get that amount of reading done, I feel really good and really proud of myself. And like I did really well for my team on the Crystal Coven of Witchathon, and that I did really well for my own Benjathon Readathon. So yes, that is it guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and let me know down below in the comments how you guys managed to do for the month of August. How many books did you manage to read? Did you get to read the books on your TBR, or do you just read books like as and when or what you fancy? And what are you guys reading in September? What have you guys recently hauled? I like to know what people are reading at the moment, so let me know down below what you're currently reading. But I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day wherever you are. All of my social media links, as always, I'll link down below in the description, as well as any reviews that I have mentioned as well. But yes, Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, my gaming channels, book club details, you will find it all down below. But that's it from me guys. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I will see all of you wonderful awesome people in my next video. Bye.